everybody, welcome back. Nicole here. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. We have a lot to get done this week. We are planting a lot of herbs, and some of the herbs that we planted several months ago we are actually putting in the beds. You can probably see the beds there. These are the beds that we made, and we put the mulch in, we put the soil on top, chicken manure, etc. So we're putting those all together so we can get everything prepared before the heat comes, the spring sets in, because if it's anything like last year with the heat, we really need to get prepared and get everything in place. So we planted, I'll show you the sage that we're planting, and I'll show you some of the seed that we're getting started. So we have started to plant the sage. Now we started these seedlings from seeds, and they've grown a decent size, not large, but we haven't pumped them with fertilizers, because a lot of the starts that you get in the store, they really pump a lot of fertilizer in them so that they grow really fast. These we haven't. Now I'm going to show you. This we started on the 10th of September, and it's a pretty decent size. I'd say this is 8 inches. I'd say it's about 8 inches high. So that's pretty good. Now we placed them in the bed that we just made, which are these beds. So halfway up we filled with mulch, and the rest, this is just chicken manure that's been sitting for, I don't know, at least 8 months to a year. So and then once we've planted them, we are going to cover it up with some mulch. Now this is the mulch. This has been decomposing and it's broken down quite a bit, as you can see. So we'll cover the area of the plant around with this, and it'll help keep the moisture in. So now we are going to plant, this sage. Now as you can see from the root system here, it should have been planted several weeks ago, but Mommy had a lot to do. So let's get this planted. So we're going to dig a little hole, squeeze the base, place it in, and cover it up. So we have 2 planted, and now we plant the rest. So now everything is in the soil, and we'll just cover it up with some mulch. So all the sage has been planted and watered, and it looks really, really healthy. So we will wait a few months, then we'll dehydrate the leaves so we can make some sage and onion stuffing. Now I have some Italian oregano here that I'm going to plant, and I'll show you what I do, because I don't squeeze the base like I did with the sage, because these herbs like oregano, thyme, they're very, very sensitive. So sage is pretty hardy, but the other herbs are very sensitive when you take them out the pot. So I'm going to show you what I do. Now this here, it's Italian oregano, and This has been in this pot for some time, so it is high time that it was planted. So I have some seedlings that I've just started a few days ago, but this should be pretty good when it's in here, so we can get all this done. And we have the second one, and I'm just going to plant it in here. We use a lot of oregano, different spices, not spices, seasonings. So I really need to plant a lot so it can last a year. And now here we're just going to plant some St. John's wort. This has been growing for some time too. This is why it's the size that it is. I would say that is six inches. Yeah, actually some of them are longer, some of them about 8 inches. So yeah, that's wonderful. So let's get all this soil on there. These are the beds, and as you can see, these are all ready to get the little seedlings in. We have a couple more over here too, and we haven't quite finished the ones here. Now, this is all lovely when it's like this, you know, with the nice clean chicken manure underneath. So we have the chicken manure underneath here, and we have the soil on top. But the not so fun part is when the weeds start growing. So that just isn't fun. So try and make sure that the beds are really clean, prepared. There's no weeds or anything like that under the bottom. Sometimes, you know, if you're using chicken manure, sometimes there can be a little bit in there, but hopefully there isn't. It just makes it a lot easier when you start to grow, and then the heat of the summer comes in, and you have the rain. It's unavoidable really, but you still have to do some weeding at some point, which none of us like that. So unfortunately you're going to get some weeds, because Genesis 3 says, because in painful toil will you eat. So weeds you're just gonna get. You just gotta stick it out, dig them up, uproot them, and it's a continuous process. So last year we raised our own meat birds, and what I'm going to do now is take a little break from the garden, put one of the chickens in the oven, and then we'll come back out and finish off in the garden. So come on. Parsley on. Some oregano. You don't really have to measure any of this. Some mixed seasonings, because we want it to taste nice. Some garlic. And a little bit of adobe, and just a little bit. Get some salt and pepper, a little bit of water in there, and that's it. They'll be in the oven. So we've got the zinnias here, coming up pretty good there. Here we have the pom-pom dahlias, and they are just starting to come up too. How exciting is this? Here I have the spotted bee balm, and that's starting to grow. Got some more over here, and I got the seeds from the climbing aster, and I reseeded these little pots. I did these first, see if the seeds were good, and they did well, and then I made some more. So I have all the tomatoes seeded now, lots of cherry tomatoes, Cherokee Purple, Roma, San Marzano. So we've seeded all those, and we've just got to wait now for them to sprout. So it's a waiting game, which you got to really hold yourself back so you don't keep checking every couple of days, but we just wait, and soon we'll have some tomatoes that we need to plant in the ground. So we're excited. I hope you've enjoyed this. Till next time, lots of love. Bye.